I'll sleep better tonight than I did the other night, but I really thought that Rico set the tone inside and was tremendous on the glass. And that was to me the difference. We were able to get into transition because we were able to get rebounds, and our defense was much more active in the beginning of the game. And then credit Oklahoma State. Coach Ward always does a great job of adjustments, and it's with them. You never feel good about any margin of victory or wins or whatever you're up, because you know they press and they're going to change things up and always give themselves a way to get back in it. Trust me, everything I said was good.
Rico gets to 1,000 and almost out-rebounded. Can you talk about what you got from him?
Oh, well, Rico's 12 offensive rebounds is amazing, 17 and 17. But he was very efficient tonight, 8 for 16, 50%, and 1 for 1 from the free throw line, and only 1 turnover. So played a very, very solid game. Well, I think we emphasize it every game. Just some games it happens, some games it doesn't, and unfortunately, that's why there's another team out there. They always have something to say about what happens as well. And in this league, especially if you can't get stops, it puts the other team in transition. And the guard plays so good in this league, it's tough to get a lot of stops if people are coming down on 3-on-2 breaks. Mm-hmm.
Why in just a span of 3 days is it so drastically different?
I think that's in any sport. Sometimes you go golfing and you're hitting all your putts, the next day you're not. So, I think we tried to do a better job identifying shooters and tried to make it more difficult where watching film, Kansas, we contested some shots, but they made them. Tonight we contested some shots and they missed them. So we just try to get the urgency where we try to make it as difficult as possible. But it's kind of like in Buddy Hield last night having 46. A lot of those were good defensive plays, and he scored. So I think we want to make it as difficult as we can. The key is getting one and done on the glass, and then allowing us to get in transition where we can score, because if we score, we can set our defense. If we don't score, then they're coming down in transition. We're not setting our defense, and it all kind of snowballs. And unfortunately, coaches, no matter how hard we work, people seem to play better defense when they score. And that's why when you're scoring, usually you're better defensively. When you're not scoring, you're worse, and that compounds. So that's a long, wordy answer. If it was as easy as X, Y, and Z, trust me, we'd do that every game. Every coach would, though.
They got it to 3, and then they scored 3 the rest of the way until that last 3. What was the difference, or was there a difference in the defense that last 10 minutes?
I'd like to say we contested more shots and made them miss. I'll have to watch film on that, but I think our crowd really came into play there, and that's where we were able to get a couple stops and score. And then what happens is now you start to press on the offensive end, where it's a little bit different when you're in rhythm and the crowd's not into it and you're making shots versus the crowd's loud and the other team's scoring and you're trying to hurry up and get it back. Again, that's why it's so tough to win on the Big 12. I think the crowd really affects games and momentum, and so we got stops, we scored, and then we were able to keep getting stops. And from there, again, in the Big 12, playing Oklahoma State, you never feel safe with any lead. Just like first half, you got up big and they came back. So we tried to just pressure as much as we could to the end of the game, make things difficult as possible. Oh, he was huge. I thought Terry really he was in that second half run, and statistically he was good with 8 and 4, but he had 0 turnovers, and that was big as well.
I could hear Coach Ford yelling during the beginning of the game that his team needed to play with physicality, but it seems like did you guys come out with the mindset of, we need to come out of the gate being the aggressor?
Well, we tried to do that at A&M. We tried to do that at Kansas, and that's all part of what you try to do. I think, again, playing at home, that home crowd really helps. That's why our sport's the toughest sport to win on the road. It's always the louder the crowd and the closer they are to the action, the more they influence the game. At the same time, every team's different. And I think Rico, tonight, he was moving well, feeling good. And a lot of times because of our penetration, forced rotations, which gave him an angle. Against our last game out, we didn't get many penetrations, which meant that he didn't have angles to get rebounds and was able to be blocked out. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. But getting out to a good start really, really helps with things. And I know it all goes back to the games we've won. We've played well defensively, and we've taken care of the ball. Games we've lost, we haven't played well defensively, and haven't taken care of the ball. So I do know that. I figured that out. So unfortunately, the opponent has something to do with both those.
Coach, you were really able to get to the free throw line tonight with penetration, and you shot nearly 90% of the free throw line. Figured out how to bottle that?
I thought a lot of it's players adjusting how the game's called too. And when hand checking is being called and you drive it, you're going to get to the line. So I think our guys did a pretty good job adjusting, and Oklahoma State did as well for a second there. And we were like, guys, we got to get the hands off. So as a coach, you just want officials to be consistent, and they've done a great job all year, and that's why our game's been better this year. You look at the scoring's up. People seem to be more pleased with everything. So tonight was a good thing for us.
Anything else?
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.